So yesterday was a pretty rough day on the homestead. Not the roughest one we've had, but still pretty emotional. Got up, went out and took care of the animals, let the chickens out, and everybody was okay. I went over to the goat pen and stuck my head inside the loafing shed to check on everybody. And Blackie was laying on her side, and she wasn't moving. And she was alive. You could tell that she was breathing, but she couldn't lift her head, and she couldn't do anything. So I grabbed Angela, and we determined that she was on her way out. And I had to do some things to get ready to take care of that. And between the time that we made that decision and the time I was ready to put her down, she had already passed away. Thank God for small mercies, right? I didn't have to do that. So Blackie was the last of our dairy goats, and she was one of the first goats that we got when we started Grumpy Acres 8 years ago. And she was the matriarch of the flock. Everybody kind of deferred to her as they went about their day. And she had been a really good goat for us. We figured up that she had done, or she had given us between 15 and 17 kids over the course of 8 years, and probably close to 50 gallons a year of milk, because every time I milked her it was between half a gallon and 3/4 of a gallon. And we milked her twice a year because she had babies twice a year for us. And so, between selling the babies and selling the milk and drinking the milk, she was a really productive piece of livestock. And you get emotionally attached to certain animals, and she was one of the ones that we got attached to, because she was a really sweet goat. And she was, like I said, she was one of the original goats. She was an OG at Grumpy Acres. So I ended up, I took part of the day off from work, and I went out and buried her. We normally whenever livestock like that passes, we butcher them out and grind them up for dog food, but we just got half a cow, and so we've got zero freezer space, or else we would have done that. And so I planted her out in the field, and Angela and I decided that we're going to plant a black cherry tree on top of where we buried her, so that she'll be productive, and every time we look at the tree we can think of her. And then came home from work and did some stuff around the house and went to put the chickens away, and I walked in there, and Milo, the rooster, had passed away. And he'd been having some problems. He got deposed as the head of the flock by Kylo, and he got hurt really bad during that little process, and he could barely walk. Now he was healthy. We were taking care of him and making sure he got fed, and making sure he got water, and if we were working out in the tea garden out in front of the house, we'd pull him out and give him water and stick him in the grass right there next to the tea garden so he could be in the shade and cool off and have water and get some sunshine. And the plan was we're going to rebuild the front deck and put a porch on, and I was going to build a little box there on the porch, and we were going to move him to the porch so he could be a porch chicken, and we could interact with him, because he's one of the original livestock. He was the leader of the flock for almost 8 years, till he got hurt. He had a broken foot or something. He couldn't stand up, and it was really hard for him. And he, all he wanted to do was take care of his flock. And I as goofy as this sounds, I honestly think that he died from a broken heart, because like I said, all he wanted to do was take care of his flock. And Kylo was bigger and stronger. Milo was not a big rooster in stature, but he took care of the flock like a eagle. And they're, at the end of the day, they're livestock, and you can't get too emotionally torn up whenever something happens like that. Blackie died of old age. She was 8 or 9 years old, and for a breeder doe, she had a good run. And Milo was the runt of the litter when he was, or I don't know what a clutch. He was the runt of the clutch when he was born, And the reason we originally got him was because he was being picked on by the other roosters in the flock where he was born. So he came into our place and just, he was a lion. And like I said, though, no matter how emotionally attached you get to them, at the end of the day, they're livestock. And Angela and I were talking yesterday after I buried Blackie, and I was upset, and she kind of reminded me that they're livestock and stuff, and I said, that's not why I'm upset. I mean, yeah, I was a little upset because she passed away, but more importantly, I'm upset because it seems like every piece of our past life is being stripped away. And in a sense, it's a blessing right now because, we talk about what we think is going to happen here in the near future. And we tell people that, you need to start gardening. You need to start taking control of your food production. You need to get debt free. You need to seek freedom now because in the future, it's going to be exponentially harder, and there's going to be people actively trying to take your freedom from you, even more so than now. And so it's a blessing that it's happening right now, but it doesn't make it any easier. I'm not going to lie, I liked our life, but I'm glad this is happening now instead of after society collapses. If it collapses, there's my crazy prepper talk for the day. But I'm glad this is happening now instead of later because we can deal with it now. Every seems like every bit of our past life before we moved out here is just being stripped away, piece by piece. And somebody made the point to me yesterday when I related that to him, and they said well maybe this is why you're supposed to create a new one. You're supposed to create a new life here, and they're right. That's we're here and we're taking this piece of property that was neglected and rehabbing it, and we're going to turn it into a productive farm again. It's going to take us a while. It's going to be a dirty, tiring process, but at the end of the road there, we're going to have a beautiful piece of property, and it's going to be very productive. We're going to have a whole bunch of animals on it, and life is going to be good. Life is good now, but it's just going to be good on a nice piece of property versus good on a junky piece of property. You know what I mean? So anyway, the point of this video is adverse things happen in our lives, and for some reason it seems like the last 6 months we've been doing a lot of videos about adversity, and I'm not going to pretend why. I know how I feel through it all, but we have to persevere. And if you're going through adversity in your life, keep that in mind. There's always, I went out, I didn't find Milo until late last night, so I had to bury him this morning because it was completely dark, and I didn't want to be out there in the dark, and I buried him right next to where I put Blackie. So they're both going to contribute to that cherry tree once we get it planted. But there's always a new dawn, and we just move on with whatever happens. And hopefully the worst thing you have to deal with is valued livestock passing away. But in reality, there's going to be times it's going to be much worse. It's going to be something much more devastating emotionally than simply losing livestock. Just remember, there's people out there that can help you. That's one of the reasons why we build community, is so that we've got people that we can lean on whenever times get tough. And I'm not just talking physically tough, I'm talking emotionally tough too. If you don't have somebody like that in your circle, if you're not part of a circle, go out and start finding people. And you have to put yourself out there. I waited for 12 years for somebody else to help put a circle together, and I finally decided that I was going to do it myself. And 8 years later, it brought us here, got us out of our place in Missouri and brought us here to this new place, and we have a very supportive circle that's full of great people. Great people, you know, not the character in this group, the character and the integrity is just off the chart, and I couldn't ask for a better group of friends, you know. And you should be out finding people like that too. Go online. There are places online. PrepperNet has I don't remember what it's called, but it's a prepper meetup thing, so you can meet like-minded people. There are homesteading Facebook groups you can find in your area. We've got a friend that met somebody in a international livestock guard dog group, and they became really good friends. You know, and there's just all kinds of things. Look and listen. Listen for meetups. You know, Angela and I talk about the Midwest Preparedness Project meetups, and we do those twice a year, and that's where we actually met everybody in our circle. You know, and we've met people that are in other circles and become really good friends with them. So not only do we have our circle and our community, we've got contacts in other circles and other communities that we can interact with and do stuff with during good times and bad. You know, so just put yourself out there. Remember that anything bad that happens, there's always tomorrow. As long as you're waking up and are able to go on with your day, you're moving forward. You know, I was going to say that it's better than being on the other side of the dirt, but if you're a Christian, yeah, that's not really true. You know, but he wants you here for a reason, and as a wise man in a movie, Mr. Lopan from Big Trouble in Little China put it, you weren't put here to get it. All right, you're not put here to get it. You're just put here to deal with it and do what you're supposed to do. Right, and whatever that is, that if you're listening, he'll tell you, and you'll be able to figure it out. You know, and hopefully you've got community, and they'll help you figure it out and do what you're supposed to do. All right, that's enough. That's enough of me being on my soapbox, or whatever you want to call it, and trying to be inspirational. I wanted to share that with you because, you know, losing the animals was hard, because they honestly kind of transcended livestock. They were pets, both of them, and it's hard. But you go on. All right. Till next time, I want you guys to go out, find community, go search out community, be actively looking for community, be actively looking for something that you can do to make your miserable existence here on the planet worthwhile, and go out and pursue a life done free. All right, Grumpy G, clear? Actually, I'm not clear. You go. Have a good day, too. Later. Thanks, Milo.